A star of the hit CBS show NCIS is recovering from an attack that left her shaken and bruised. Pauley Perrette gave her first on-camera interview to Entertainment Tonight's Kevin Frazier, and he's here to bring us that exclusive. But first, we want to check in with CBS 2 Jasmine Veal. She's live in Hollywood Hills with what happened. Jasmine?
Well, Rick, hours after the attack happened here on this street, NCIS star Pauley Perrette took to Twitter posting a message saying that she could have been killed at the hands of a psychotic man and that she is grateful to be alive. On this street in the Hollywood Hills yesterday, a frightening encounter for NCIS star and CBS fan favorite Pauley Perrette. She took to Twitter hours after the attack to write what had happened. She says she was ambushed by a homeless man while crossing the street to check on her new guest house. Here is a sketch she drew and a photo of her alleged attacker, obtained exclusively by Entertainment Tonight. She wrote, "He grabbed me so forcefully, pinned my arm and punched me in the nose and forehead, repeatedly telling me he was going to kill me." She called one of her best friends who works at her Donna Bell's Bake Shop in Manhattan with the news.
She's my best friend, so I'm 3,000 miles away. You get that helplessness, like, you know, I wish I was there with her during these times. But Pauley's tough. She's good.
In her post, Perrette says her attacker only left after she heard his name and told him it was beautiful and that it was the name of her little nephew. He punched her one last time and she collapsed to the ground. She mentions a neighbor walking his dog last night who didn't stop to help her moments later. We found that apologetic neighbor this morning.
I just kept going at that point because I just assumed there was another homeless person up here. I should have gone back and said, you know, what's going on? I just made my own assumption.
Perrette says her friend James came to her rescue and used her sketch to help police track down 45-year-old David Merck at this 7-Eleven on Cahuenga and Yucca an hour after the attack. Now, Merck was booked on felony battery, and always an activist, an advocate. Perrette also posted this on that message to Twitter saying that she has protected the homeless, but Rick, she also says this highlights the need for better mental health care.
All right, thank you, Jasmine. And ET's Kevin Frazier just finished an exclusive interview with Pauley Perrette.
And he's here now with what she's saying about the ordeal. How is she doing, Kevin?
She's shaken and a little emotional, but you know what? Pauley, as you just heard Jasmine mention, is an advocate for the homeless. So the first thing out of her mouth is that we need more for the homeless people out there. We need to help these people. Instead of this guy attacked me, I want to make sure he's in jail. She was like, we need to help him. And that just shows you the kind of person Pauley is.
I almost got the sense that she may have talked herself out of something that could have been much worse.
And that's the thing she said. Jasmine mentioned that she said, William is a beautiful name, and she also mentioned that my nephew is named William, and that is one of the things that helped him stop. It shook him for a second after he hit her that second time and then told her to get away, and she ran. And how amazing is it that Pauley had the faculties to do that drawing, to send, and then that her friend could go down the street and find this man. It's an amazing story that could have turned out a lot worse, and we're just happy that Pauley's here. As a matter of fact, we have a little clip of our interview. Let us play that for you right now.
So walk me through what happened.
I got attacked by a severely mentally ill homeless person, and he punched me in the face. Like clearly my face is a little swollen and my nose is a little red, and pinned me down and pinned me not down but by my arm and told me he was going to kill me, and I know that he was.
And you hear her say that, and that's the thing that has her shaken the most, because she felt that he really was going to try and kill her, and she doesn't blame this man. She holds no ill will against him, but she thought that it was going to end. And she also feels that it was random. She was the person who walked by. It wasn't someone stalking Pauley Perrette from NCIS. He didn't have his faculties to do that. It was just a random man, and she happened to be the person in the wrong place at the wrong time in a very busy part of town. And Pauley and I are great friends, so when you get that call and you hear that she's been attacked, you know, the first thought is, well, Pauley's pretty tough and she's pretty smart. You know, she's engaged to a Royal Marine, so she knows how to handle herself. So that's what kind of scared me. But then she said, you know, I saw this homeless person, and she was more concerned with greeting him. wondering if he needed socks.
Kevin, did she mention anything about the guy, the neighbor who had walked by with the dog and sort of overlooked what was happening?
Yes, she did. She was shocked that someone just overlooked it and walked by her, and
But
it
Kevin,
disturbed her.
it makes us all think of what would we do in that situation. If you thought somebody was homeless or in your, maybe you'd fear for your own safety at first, and it's a tough situation.
It's a tough situation, but also when you look at that situation, you see a woman in distress. And this is Pauley's big thing, that we should look at everyone the same. Because if Pauley had been in that situation, I guarantee you 100%, she wouldn't have only stopped, she would have dove in. And so listening to her story, and it's upsetting that that man didn't stop. It was a mistake, it's gone. But listening to her story, we're just glad she's here today because, as she mentioned, the man said to her repeatedly, "My name is William, I'm going to kill you. My name is William, I'm going to kill you."
You know, Pauley, we've all known Pauley as somebody who turns a negative into a positive.
100%.
Now, she is known for championing human rights, civil rights. Do you think that her work will intensify towards that cause?
This was just, to her, she even said, a wake-up call in a sense, because she needs to do more. The homelessness situation in Hollywood is getting worse, and Pauley said, we have to do more. And that's what she kept repeating. And that's the person she is. She thinks of others first before herself. And, you know, we joke about people all the time. We say, oh, they're so giving, they're this and that. This is the person that is really giving. From America's Most Wanted, with a missing child from her home state in Alabama, where she gave $10,000, put up the reward, to going to a homeless shelter here in LA that she helped save that was going to be closed down. That's what she does. So to her, seeing a homeless person, she sees someone who needs help, not someone who is a possible attacker.
Kevin, thanks so much.
Thanks,
so
Kevin.
much for coming by.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Yeah, be sure to watch Kevin Frazier's exclusive interview with Pauley Perrette tonight at 7:30, only here on CBS 2.